These latest headlines from ABC15 are sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. One call, that's all.
Hello, Megan Thompson with your top stories right now from ABC15 Arizona. Opening statements begin today in the Lori Daybell trial. The so-called doomsday mom is back in Arizona defending herself, accused of conspiring to kill her fourth husband. This is one of Lori Daybell's two cases here in Maricopa County. But this trial will focus on the shooting death of her previous husband, Charles Vallow, back in 2019. Making sure the voices advocating for justice never go silent. A Globe woman and San Carlos Apache tribe member pushing to get the word out there about 14-year-old Emily Pike to track down her killer. On Sunday, Jolene Shorty and her husband handed out flyers in the valley at truck stops. She believes focusing on truckers and drivers could lead to more tips about Pike's case. This all part of an ongoing push to say her name and keep it alive.
I feel like the hero is a trucker. I feel like it's a driver because that road between Globe and Sholo is mainly where a lot of people just drive.
Shorty and her family also sponsoring a billboard going up in Superior highlighting Pike's case. They're planning more in Miami and Globe. Pike's murder investigation has still not produced any suspects or persons of interest. As consumers face higher prices on foreign-made cars, they also may be turning to the used car market for better deals. Scripps News Group consumer reporter John Matarese digs into a new report identifying some of the most reliable used vehicles so you don't waste your money.
Even the average used car these days is not cheap, but one new study finds that some 5 to 10-year-old used cars offer much better value, clocking in with lower prices and longer lifespans than ever before. The average new car price is $48,000 and likely headed higher due to tariffs. So safe to say, we all want a car that will last. Terry Kern swears by his Chevy pickup.
I'm on my, I think, 5th or 6th Silverado.
Pretty reliable?
Very reliable.
Today, a 100,000-mile car is still a reliable car.
Dealership owner Tom Gill says if you're nervous about buying pre-owned, many come with full coverage.
If you look at, late model used cars, you can get manufacturer warranty on a lot of them.
The site IC Cars, which helps buyers find and compare cars for sale, published its list of the most reliable used cars for the money.
We've been tracking over 400 million cars and their lifespans over the last decade plus.
This year, the most reliable 5-year-old cars for the money include the Honda Fit, Volkswagen Passat, and Buick Encore. Reliable 10-year-old cars include the Lincoln MKZ, Honda Civic, and Mazda CX-9. While other brands have a reputation for reliability, analyst Carl Brower says they also cost more.
You can go out and find Lexus and Toyota products on the used market. They're going to have a lot of life left. Those cars are just very reliable and they're well engineered, but they're going to be costing you more because people know that.
Tom Gill suggests looking for a dealer who stands behind their used inventory.
We're going to put a powertrain warranty on it for the life of the car. So if it wasn't reliable, I wouldn't be funding that.
And that way you don't waste your money. John Matarese, Scripps News Group.
Keeping kids up to speed on schoolwork while they're being treated at the hospital. That's the goal of One Darn Cool School at Phoenix Children's.
We do a lot of bedside instruction, so we work one-on-one with kids in their rooms, but we're also super fortunate to have the conference space that's open to us to allow kids to work with other students.
One Darn Cool School is 100% funded by donations, which goes to paying for classroom materials and supplies, as well as teacher salaries. It's one of the many programs you are supporting when you give to the ABC15 Telethon, benefiting Phoenix Children's. It's happening on Wednesday.
With your most accurate forecast on this Monday, I'm meteorologist Jorge Torres. It'll be a warm day here in the valley, to say the least, but no record-setting temperatures. That'll change, though, later this week. But today we'll start off with temperatures in the valley in the mid-60s, warming up to 80 at midday and forecasting a high of 88, which is a little bit above normal. But this is also the time of year when the UV index gets a little bit higher. In fact, today it's going to be at 8. That's in the very high category, meaning that sunburn sets in at about 15 minutes. Be very careful if you'll be out and about, especially during midday when we have those peak UV hours. Now, highs across the state will be warming up too. We'll be in the mid-60s there in Flagstaff, same for Heber and Cholo, 70s throughout Gila County, along with Prescott and Sedona, and 80s and even lower 90s across parts of western Arizona. Here's the 7-day forecast. Temperatures getting hotter and hotter each and every day. In fact, we're in the 100s for the first time this year by Thursday in the valley. In the high country, will keep highs in the 60s through tomorrow and the 70s from Wednesday through the early part of the weekend.
For the latest headlines, weather and traffic, head to abc15.com, or you can download that free ABC15 mobile app.
These latest headlines from ABC15 are sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. One call, that's all.